Okay, so I'm doing my TED Ed talk about car crashes and reckless driving, like drunk driving, or like taking drugs and driving, or you have like a sickness and driving when you shouldn't be. So one tip that I have for my community is to make bright yellow stop signs so that everyone could see them and it's easier to like see at night and stuff, because usually in the summer, when it gets dark outside, people are still driving, and mostly adults and stuff, and sometimes they can't really see the stop sign because it's dark red, and it's kind of like sometimes when they get worn out, they're not that reflective anymore. So it's still kind of hard to see them. So if you have bright yellow ones, they would glow in the dark, and it'd be easier to see. And even if you still want red ones, maybe you should make them glow in the dark because it's really hard to see them at night. So another tip that I have for my community is to make stoplights that have brighter colors, but the same colors, and make sure that they're bigger. Because sometimes the light bulbs in the stoplights or something, they're dull and you can't really see them. So it's really hard to see them during the day, because if the sun's shining on them, then you have no idea which if it's red, yellow, or green. So you really want bright ones, like big light bulbs that are green, yellow, and red still, and maybe like LED ones or something, because those are like really bright and they're really vibrant, so you can see them. So another tip that I have for my community are, whenever there's a railroad tracks, there's these stoppers so that cars don't go past when the train goes past. On the busiest streets, maybe where there's a lot of car crashes, there's a lot of reckless driving or something, that they put those down so that those people that are stopped by the red light can't turn, can't go straight, can't do anything, because then it will prevent most car crashes during anything or reckless driving. Well, it won't stop that, but it would maybe the police would be able to catch up with them or something. Okay, so another tip that I have for my community is, so look both ways before you turn. So I know it's look both ways before you cross the street and everything like that, but look both ways before you turn. I mean, maybe there should be a camera on the stop signs or something, that if you don't look both ways before you turn, then you'll get fined or something, because most people, they do not look both ways before they turn, and they just turn and they could hit someone. They could hit someone, it would be a really bad car accident too, because they hit someone while they were turning, and that's kind of hard to see and stuff. But you should always look both ways before you turn. Okay, so I know there's Bluetooth calling, and I want there to be Bluetooth texting. So what I mean by that is your car will be connected with your phone, and whenever you get a text, it will say text from mom or dad or whatever, and there will be a button on your wheel, text, there will be a little message button, and you could text. You should touch it, and it will go blah, and then you could have then you would say something like thanks or blah 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 blah, whatever. Okay, and I know it would be kind of hard to do that still while you're driving, but at least you'll pay more attention, and you won't get in there won't be that many car accidents anymore. And I want every car to have that, because some cars have it, but not all cars have it. So I want Bluetooth phones in every car too, because when you're on your phone, sometimes you can get locked into the story that somebody's telling, or the story that you're telling, and you don't pay attention to the wheel, or you don't pay attention to the street, and you hit someone. So that's a lot. That's kind of big. Texting and driving, that's big too. So I want to have Bluetooth calling in every phone, and every car, I mean. So I want more speed limit trackers, and by that I mean there's a lot of them now still, but I want more, because there's a lot of places where people are speeding and there's no stop signs, there's nothing, and I want there to be speed limit trackers there, so that if they go above the speed limit by a lot, that they'll get fined or they'll get a ticket, and maybe they'll I don't know, maybe they'll have to go to driving school again or something. So another tip that I have is to make more stop signs, and I want more stop signs because there's a bunch of streets that I know that do not have stop signs, and it scares me to see a car coming and people crossing the street, because that car technically does not have to stop, so they could just hit those people, and that's really scary to me. So I want there to be more stop signs wherever, like on every corner. Like if there's a 4-corner place, I want stop signs in each corner because sometimes there's not. So another tip that I have for my community is to have more traffic lights. When you have more like some places there's only stop signs, and I want more traffic lights so that people can like see, people can stop, and sometimes even when there's stop signs, they don't stop. So they just turn right away, and it's really scary when that happens because then those people like don't like turn or anything. They just turn without like even thinking, and it's really scary. So another tip that I have for my community is have more self-stopping cars. So by that I mean there should be cars that you do not have to, like if you're not paying attention, the car will just stop automatically, so it prevents any car crash. And I think that's like really important. So I really want there to be more self-stopping cars because it's really scary when people don't stop right away for you. And even if you have an old car, maybe you should have it like installed or something. Like that's what I mean for like the Bluetooth texting and Bluetooth phone. You should just have it installed. And if it's more money, then just think, I'm preventing more car crashes. So, and reckless driving for some people. And another tip that I have for my community, well, not a tip. Well, there's a question that I have to ask myself. So it's, how will this help? How will all these things help? So all these things will help because they will at least somewhat protect like car crashes or reckless driving, because maybe people will think, oh my gosh, I might hit someone, or I might get in a car crash, or I might get drunk and I might start driving. So maybe they'll be more, they'll think more, and they'll be more aware of what's happening in their situation, in the situation that's there. And all these things would actually help a lot, I think, because these are like really important, and even though these are already invented, I think maybe everywhere should have it or something. So thanks for watching my TED Ed talk about car crashes and reckless driving.